Hello, it's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a brooch called Sparkle. So this is a little picture of basil, rather like the coaster design that I did before, and it uses basil, Posca pens, the dynamic stencil, and glossy accents, and the acrylic sprays. So, enough of me talking. Let me show you how to make this. Come, let's go down to the business end. See you there. Hello, so this is me with some A4 Sizzix shrink plastic that I have cut down to the smaller size just because it helps when cutting out. The weight of the plastic doesn't drag your cut and cause tears. So I am drawing around the shape of an Elements ink pad. That's what's going to give us that lovely oval shape. And I'm going to cut it out and speed it up because you don't need to see me do this. Okay, so here we have Sun Yellow acrylic spray. Just spraying it onto my craft mat. Getting a blender. And I'm just staining the shape of the shrink plastic all over with a blender and taking any excess off. So it's like, show it what it could have won. Put some on, take it off. And that leaves it quite dry. Now this is some white Posca pen that I'm just getting a reservoir of ink onto my mat. And added some water. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to get basil and test where I want him to go, and where I want the light to go I've just made a mark, and now I'm going to just do some spikes and go dotty mad. Lots of little dots, because this is the light that he's shining, the sparkle that he's shining out. So this is the dynamic stencil, just working out where I want it to go. And for this, I'm going to use Elements Henna. Okay, so I'm just using a blender and Elements Henna to just add the pattern around the edges of the brooch. Later on, we might have to do a little bit more on this because over time we might lose some definition, but that's okay. Okay, so we've made a frame. This is apple green Posca, one of the new colours. Just pushing it down to get a reservoir of ink onto my craft mat. I've mixed it with the darker green and I'm just following in between the lines of the dynamic stencil because it's nice to just follow what's already there. It takes you on a completely different journey. Don't be afraid to follow the lines all the way around. It lifts it as well. So we're back to the white Posca, and here you can see I'm just extending the dots out into the darkness, which is what that is, that frame out there, the darkness that's being affected by the light. And I'm just going out to meet it. Now, using archival ink, I've got basil on my acrylic board and I've inked him up, and I'm just popping him so that he's right over where I had made the white Posca for the light. Okay, so I've got some black Posca pen that I've diluted with some water just to colour in any bits that I feel could do with being a little bit darker. And now I'm on with my yellow Posca, just using it straight onto the brooch. To get some sparkle of different colour. Just dilute that white a bit and give it an extra depth. Aha! Acrylic spray Indian Sunset onto the craft mat with a blender. And I'm just going around the edges, which has taken some of the definition away from the dynamic, but that's okay. We can put that stencil back on there. And that's the yellow sparkle. So it's glittery pen. I'm so glad I gave myself a prompt there. I'm just adding some around the outside of the lamp. Okay, so that's black Posca that I've just added some water to because I want the outside edge to be darker. So there's a fair bit of water there because it allows it to act like a watercolour and blend nicely in with each other. Now, I'm not covering the whole thing with the black, but I'm just allowing it to give a hint of darkness. And I'm letting it dry. That's what that means. So that's the orange glitter pen that I'm using there. Now, I've got the word sparkle from Don't Let Life Dull Your Sparkle, and I'm just inking up that one word. And I thought one wasn't enough, so I've done 2 and 3. The magic number. Everything must be in 3s. Okay, and here again, I'm adding extra dots because you know what I'm like with dots. Love them, love them. And Posca is so easy to use. So I've gone back to my apple green and I'm adding highlights to the grass, to the pattern below. Going back with my dynamic just to give myself some more definition at the tops. There's not really a process, so it doesn't really matter if you do go back and add more to it. There we go. Happy days. Now we are at the point of shrinkage. So holding it down with my scissors, I have used the heat tool to shrink it. Crikey, that was quick. And I'm giving it a quick iron with my heavy sketchbook. And ta-da! There is your little brooch. Reminds me of the little Victorian brooches that women used to wear at their neck with the high-necked blouses. Anyway, here we go. I am adding fab foils. So this is a 2-way glue pen, Zig 2-way glue pen. And I'm just putting it around the edges. It's just so easy to do this technique. And once I've done that, come on, Em, hurry up, dear. Right, once I've done that, I've got to make it tacky. So I'm using the heat tool again. Pop the fab foil over, burnish it with your burnishing tool, or in my case, thumb. And you've got a frame, a golden frame for your brooch. I just fancy a few more bits because, let's be honest, it's a brooch called Sparkle. What does it need? Sparkle. So I'm heating it up again, so it's tacky like a sticker, and then popping the fab foil on, colour side up, and burnishing it. Aha! Turned it over, glossy accents, brooch pin straight on there, and leave it to dry. And you, my friends, you have made yourself a brooch called Sparkle. Well done. Well done. Are you pleased? I'm very pleased with my sparkly brooch. I think it's rather lovely. I love the mice. They're so full of character. So thank you very much for joining me today. As usual, pop your comments in the post below and I will do my very best to answer them. You take care, people. Have fun and happy shrinking!